Hello, I'm Scott. Sorry I couldn't be with you tonight. I had a work obligation, so I thought I'd make this quick video for you to show you how to make pita bread. This is going to have to be done in one take without edits because we don't have time for editing. It's the night before the class. Last time we got together we talked about sushi. I talked about how it's intimidating. Even the vegetarian sushi can be intimidating. And I hope I took some of the mystery out of it for you. Tonight I'm going to take the mystery out of something else that a lot of people think is more complicated than it is, and that's pita bread. You're going to start, I guess Jean's giving you the recipes, you're going to start by preheating your oven to 500 degrees. Yes, your oven does go that high, I checked. Not in the recipe is what I have in this bowl. I recommend a little something sweet to give your yeast something to eat. I have a little less than a tablespoon in here of my niece Danielle's local raw honey. Her company's called D's Bees, and this is just a really good local honey. You can use molasses, you can use sugar, raw sugar, whatever you like, but your yeast behaves better like we all do when it has had something to eat. I've got 1 1/4 cups of warm to hot water. Too hot is going to kill the yeast. Too cold and it's not going to be as active as you might like it to be. 105 to 115 degrees, it should feel like a good hot bath would feel. I'm putting the water in here and I'm going to mix that up a little bit to get the honey distributed through the water evenly. In here I've got about a tablespoon of yeast. That's about 2 packets if you buy it by the packet. I'm going to put that in, and I'm just going to sprinkle it on top. I'm not going to mix it in. And if you have the time, you can give it 5 minutes to form kind of a sponge just to make sure it's active. I know this is active. I've used this one recently, so I'm not worried about it. So I'm going to put in about half of my flour. The recipe calls for 4 cups, so that's about 2 cups going in. I've got about half a teaspoon of salt here. That's optional, but I think it brings up the flavor just a little bit. And the reason you don't add all the flour at once, okay, the oven's preheated, is that you might not need all of it. In fact, man, this is getting pretty stiff already. I'll add a little bit more. But yeah, you want to hold back because you might not need all of it. I'm using my dough hook to do the rest of the mixing here. We have a KitchenAid mixer. The KitchenAid mixer has 10 speeds. I don't know how many yours has, but on the 10-speed mixer you don't want to go past, no editing, you don't want to go past the 2nd speed for dough. So we're going to start it out on 1st speed. And just see how well it starts to take that flour. You want to mix it until it's well mixed. And almost all the flour is incorporated. And then once it is, you can bump it up to the 2nd speed, which I'm going to do now. And you're going to let that mix for 10 minutes. Okay, we're back. It's been 10 minutes. I got the dough out of the mixer. Jean, you can do your close-up now of the dough. This is what it looks like. Should have a good bit of stretch to it. That's what the kneading does. It stretches out the gluten in the dough. And I usually give it a few turns when I take it out. You can hand knead the dough too if you don't have a mixer. Press it down, fold it in half, quarter turn, fold it in half, press it down, quarter turn, fold it in half, press it down, and do that for 10 minutes. more power to you. So that's what we have is, right there. That's the dough. I have a scale here. I want to weigh the dough, and I want to weigh it in grams. And the reason I want to weigh it in grams is because I want to make 10 pitas. And grams are easy to divide by 10. So I've got 695 grams. So I want to make these around 69 grams each. Use a dough knife. And this is you really need to spend a little money on your scale, I'm finding out. This is a cheap one. And it has a hard time finding 0. But anyway, I'm going to weigh out about 10 of these. They should be, in this case, about 69 grams each. And we're going to cut until I'm done with that. Okay, so I got done cutting them. I think they're all about the same. Well, lesson learned here is don't cheap out on your scale. I'm going to roll these into balls. Gene, you can tighten up a little bit if you like. A lot of people think you can make a ball of dough just by going like that. It doesn't work. You're going to have too many seams in it. I don't know if you can see what my hands are doing. I fold it in half that way, and just keep folding it in half until you've got the 4 corners kind of gathered up like that, almost like a purse. And then I put my thumb around it like that, just kind of flatten it down, a little bit of flour so it doesn't stick to the table. And it just takes a little bit of practice, and yeah, your first couple of times on this, your hands will feel it too. Seems the smaller the piece of dough you're trying to wrangle, the more difficult it can be. So I did get 10 out of that ball of dough. They seem about the same size. Just want to bang that on the table once you've got those 4 corners gathered up and twist it around. It just kind of seals it. Yeah, I think some of these are bigger than the others, but 100 years from now it's not going to matter. Almost done. 2 more to go. Bench scraper is a good tool to have, great for cutting your dough. You don't want to tear your dough because that's going to mess up the gluten structure. You want to cut your dough. These are very good for that, also good for scraping the little bits of dough off your bench. Just spread a little flour around here now. Take a piece of dough, flatten it down. More flour. Roll it out one way, and then the other way. And that's your pita bread right there. You want to try not to pinch the edges of it because that'll inhibit the way it rises. I have these trays here with these silicone mats. Those are available from Amazon. That's where we got those. They're great non-stick mats. The great thing about them too is that you don't need oil. You don't need to spray the pan. You can just put it right on there and your food won't stick. So I'm going to roll out the rest of these and we'll come back to you in a minute. Okay, well, these are the pita pockets. I've rolled them out. We have 2 trays of them ready to go in. Well, not ready to go in yet. They still have to rise. They have to rise for 30 minutes now. And this room is nice and warm now because, as I said, I've preheated the oven to 500 degrees. So it's certainly warm enough in here that this is going to rise just fine. What you can do is take one of these plastic bags and kind of put it over the top, and that'll help keep them from drying out. And we'll see you in 30 minutes. Okay, well, these are the risen pitas. As you can see, they have doubled in size, or maybe you can't see that, but they were pretty thin to begin with, and now they're about twice as thick as they were. I'm going to put these in the oven, like I said before, at 500 degrees, and they go in for 5 minutes. Alright, 5 minutes is up, and we're going to see what these, hello, we're going to see what these look like. Good. Epic puffiness. Nice and toasty brown in spots. I think they look pretty good. I'm going to put the next batch in, and that's how you make the pita bread. Okay, well, there you can see some of the finished pitas. I've got 3 more in the oven. I've made another batch during the 30 minutes that you were away while this first batch was rising. You can see what they look like. They've got a nice color to them. Spots of brown here and there. They're puffed up very nicely. I think that the high temperature causes the thin bread to just form 2 crusts with no middle part, and that's how you get the pocket. You might be able to cook these, I haven't tried this, you might be able to cook these at a lower temperature to make a Greek style pita that doesn't have a pocket but folds over, like for making gyros. I've never tried it. I think it might work though. Well, I think these look great. They're hot now. You want to let them cool off completely before you cut them. Of course, you can eat them warm too if you like. But we're going to let these set, and that's about all I've got for you. I hope that I was able to show you that making pita bread is not as much of a PITA as you might have thought it is. Thanks.